Hello, everyone, and welcome back to your favorite Arsenal Fan TV America here from the Pacific Northwest, USA. Of course, we welcome all the soccer fans in the world, not just the USA. We have a lot of fans from Africa, from Europe, from Asia, from all over the world. So thank you very much for subscribing. And don't forget before we go on to hit that subscribe button and like and share. Welcome back, new episode. I know you haven't seen us for a couple of games, and I'm going to be just honest with you, it's because of disappointment. I was very disappointed with, number one, of course, before anything, I was very disappointed with the Liverpool game because we gave away that goal to Salah. Zinchenko did not, and we've seen that so many times. We've seen Zinchenko stopping defending. So I'm not sure the thought process behind Mikel Arteta thinking, okay, I'm going to put Zinchenko, my worst defender, in my whole entire squad. And that's stats, by the way, not just me. I'm going to put that guy in front of the best goal scorer right now and the hottest prospect, hottest winger in all of Europe. Salah, yeah. So you put Zinchenko there, you know the equation is going to equal Mohamed Salah taking Zinchenko and scoring, and that's what happened. Of course, if it wasn't for, Jon Snow, Declan Rice, that was facing this whole entire Liverpool, attacking line. 5 players running towards him and him by himself. And he stood there, and thank God that ball, was not a goal against Arsenal, because it really did look like one, but it hit the post and went out. So, couple of games here to talk about, but I know I'm ahead because, again, I'm trying to just tell you why I did not come out with these episodes, and I'm going to be honest. After Liverpool, which kind of put a dent for me on our title hopes, now we go out to West Ham that took us out of the Cup. They're at our own house. It's a revenge game. It's a game fighting for top of the league, but Arsenal showed us the same exact thing they showed us last year towards the end of the season, which is vanishing and going down, unfortunately, in form. Players are not producing. You see the combination of Martinelli and Jesus and Saka up front. How many goals this season versus how many goals last season? It was something that really kind of put a big dent on our title challenge with those 2 games. Liverpool, and then right after that, we lose to West Ham. Like I said, that's a game that I was looking for Arsenal to revenge. It's very important. If we win it, we're on top of the league again. But yet, we lose it. And then we go to Fulham, and we score a very lucky goal in the beginning of the game. And Arsenal just goes back to what Arsenal does best. Martin Odegaard, I don't know what's wrong with him. He is not the Martin Odegaard we know. Bukayo Saka, very, very, very few moves in the game. Passes, very few attacks. Shooting where we're just not supposed to be shooting, or the time doesn't permit for you to be shooting. You should be passing. Passing when you're supposed to be shooting. Dipping, in his form. Martinelli, it's like a totally different player from last season. So, they don't give us that hope. Of course, as an Arsenal fan, let me tell you, a game's done is done. I go look for the next game. And I always look for us to do better. My biggest problem as a fan is when they're not consistent. When we can lose, it's okay. Or we can draw, it's okay. Every club in the world, loses or draws, whether domestically or in Europe or whatever. But not competing, that's my problem. You know what I mean? So if we play a great game, but the opponent just happen to be lucky or happen to be better than us, it's okay. It happens. That's not a problem. These things happen. But again, I have a problem when we don't compete. We don't look like we're talked to about the right game plan. We don't look like we're organized enough. You have the best defense in the world now with these 2, William Saliba and Gabriel, right? But you don't have the right left back. And let's go talk about the left back. And I'm not going to talk about game by game, but I'm just talking about Arsenal now in general. And this is a frank conversation between, you and I as a fan, right? And of course, I have to, analyze the games and talk about the games. But today, I just want to talk to you like a fan, right? So I go to that problem on the left, and I'm just talking about defense right now. I have the best two defenders, like I said, William Saliba, and I have Gabriel. But before I say I have the best two defenders, I should have said I have the best goalkeeper. Now, before I even go to Zinchenko, we have a problem with the goalkeeper. David Raya is a good goalkeeper, but he's not an Arsenal best good goalkeeper. Or an Arsenal best, He's not the best for Arsenal. Or he's not an Arsenal, number one. As simple as it gets. He's not. He could be in Brentford. He will do good. He will do good in a lot of clubs, but not as a club like Arsenal. We need someone that's a Class A goalkeeper. We've always had that. Rarely when we didn't have a good goalkeeper. And you could see towards the end, Mikel Arteta, towards the end of Fulham game, but I'm going to come back to that point. Mikel Arteta gave Martinez away, and look where Aston Villa is. Mikel Arteta sold Leno, right? Bernd Leno is at Fulham. And look what happened. We lost to Fulham. So his choices in goalkeeper are not the greatest. However, we got Ramsdale, and that was a good signing. And that was, listen, to me, he did really well last year. He did good. I did not have a lot of criticism for him. Yes, he had mistakes. Every goalkeeper has mistakes. But I thought that Ramsdale is just not treated. I thought he did well. And I think till today, he's just not treated fairly by Mikel Arteta. Mikel Arteta is very vindictive towards him. I don't know what is going on. But here, I could speak the truth. I'm not selling the news. I'm, telling you the news. There is something going on between these two. And we've seen Arteta now being that way with so many different players that he already chased out of the club. So now people are talking about, is he really the right man? We should have asked that long time ago. We didn't wait this long on Unai Emery. We wouldn't have waited this long on any manager. No one waits this long in the Premier League. So that's a big question mark. He so much want to be Pep Guardiola. He's never going to be. Pep Guardiola's Pep Guardiola. Everyone is different. He does not maximize, the squad and the efforts. He doesn't maximize the club. He minimizes the club, right? He has good players. He has the wrong choices of players. Let's go now from the goalkeeper situation, which again, you're not going to win a Premier League if you don't have a very, very solid goalkeeper. Now let's go to the left side. Zinchenko. You didn't want to play, I'm talking Mikel Arteta now. You didn't want to play Kieran Tierney. And now you loaned him to Real Sociedad, which is top of their group, Champions League, and top 4 Spanish La Liga. So KT is doing great. Go watch him. Go watch him and compare him with Zinchenko. But I don't think Mikel Arteta does that. Because if you do, you will definitely recall him in January, right now. Because right now is when everything happens if you want to save your season. But I don't see Mikel Arteta making the right decisions and getting the right deals to save this season. I don't. Because of simply, the situation that happened last year, him and getting new players, hauling the midfield right away. You can't do that. Take it down piece by piece and try to rebuild it. That's fine. But taking it down apart, now you're trying to have Kai Havertz, Odegaard, and Declan Rice. They don't know each other. So all three of them trying to play together, trying to win a Premier League. It's not going to happen. They're going to have to play together for 2 years or at least 2 seasons. So they know each other. That's what happened, right? So now you leave KT and you go loan him. And we're in dire straits. Zinchenko is bad news. That's why, Man City let him go. Man City don't let a very good left back go. Why? Because left backs are very rare. So we should have gotten Akanji from Borussia Dortmund before he went there. There's a lot of left backs out there. Even, of course, when Jurrien Timber comes back, that's who you want there. But even his brother is better. Jurrien Timber does have a brother that plays in Europe, and he's better than Zinchenko. A lot of people are better than Zinchenko. Even Tomiyasu is better than Zinchenko. But Tomiyasu is not a left back. We need a world-class left back. Now, that's one. The right back position, I don't know what happened with Ben White. And again, talking about Mikel Arteta developing players. Does he develop players? I don't see it. I don't see someone started with Arsenal like he was okay, and then all of a sudden now he's a superstar. It's a complete opposite, right? I'm worried Declan Rice is going to dip in form with Arteta. You see how he started really good? Remember that. Because they start really good. Now, I don't know what Mikel Arteta does. They go the complete opposite. I mean, come on. Ben White was great at what he did. You put him on the right back. He tried to prove himself. He's not. He's a center defender, right? He is the one that plays right or left, but in the back. But you played him on the right side. He proved himself. I don't know what happened here too. I don't know what happened with Ben White. But Ben White is not your Kyle Walker. He's not, Carvajal. He's not, we had it for a while. We were talking to Joao Cancelo, great right back. He's not that. We need somebody from that caliber. Ashraf Hakimi, if you go to PSG. Mazraoui, if you go to, and of course Kimmich that sometimes plays right back if you go to Bayern Munich. So these big names, we need that. Even if you go to Real Madrid and you see, if Carvajal is not ready or is injured and he's one of the best in the business, Luka Vazquez comes in, fills in for him, great right back. We don't have that. And we had that, and I don't know what happened with Ben White. I'm not sure if there is the right program for these players to get better. Now, going to the midfield, right? You can't blame Odegaard that much, but you have to blame him. He's the captain. He has to dig deeper. I don't know, extra sessions. I don't know what you should do. Communicate more, talk more, move more. Stop keeping the ball too long, son. And not everything in life before it goes has to go through Odegaard. I mean, Odegaard is not the owner of the field. Everything goes to him, and sometimes he just doesn't do what he needs to do with it. Not sometimes now, most of the time. Some in games, all the time. So, go through someone else. Have him move. Have him earn that ball. He's not a Toni Kroos. He's not that midfielder that we know can do both. The number 8, number 6. He could be a holding or it can be, a playmaker like Cesc Fabregas, Patrick Vieira. We have, great players in that midfield that when you compare him with them, Granit Xhaka was much better at midfield than Odegaard today. And look at Granit Xhaka and what Xabi Alonso and Bayer Leverkusen are doing in Europe. Till today, the best team in Europe. No losses. They did not lose. And they scored the most goals. They scored over 150 goals. City's below 110. So there's 40 goals they scored over the top team in Europe. So Xhaka's doing great where Xhaka is, but we're not our center mid, Kai Havertz. The guy's trying his best. I'm not blaming him either. But it's still, he needs time to adapt to Declan Rice and how he plays and to Martin Odegaard. But there is absolutely shambolicness in that middle or that midfield. Nothing is happening. And now you go to the front. You got Bukayo Saka that takes the ball, turns back in, passes it to Odegaard, goes to Martinelli. Martinelli loses it. Turn it back in. Instead of passing to Ben White, the overlap, he just gives it back to Odegaard. Odegaard tried to manufacture something. It doesn't work. Well, how about every 4 or 5 times, go to Ben White and have him just put in that ball? It doesn't happen. He's like he lost his creativity or maybe he lost his hunger. I don't know. It's very sad. Bukayo Saka is a very important Arsenal player, one of the best young players in the world, but we need to not fail him. We need to develop him. He needs a manager. It's his right. He needs a manager to develop him. But it's not happening with his development. All these players will go out, oh, Mikel Arteta is great, oh, this is great, because that's their manager right now. But the problem is, we keep, unfortunately, patting on Mikel Arteta's, back and not holding him accountable to any results. Where are the results? And then you're going to play Liverpool in FA Cup. You think I feel good about that as an Arsenal fan? Absolutely not. You think I think we're going to lose? I don't want to say it, but yes, they're better than us right now. Much better. So hopefully, a miracle happen and then we stay in the FA Cup because as Arsenal fans, we really, really need it. But going back to development, go to Martinelli. I don't know what's happening with him either. He's so disconnected out there and he's not getting enough service. And he doesn't have a big target up front to send these balls. Gabriel Jesus is not really a header. We saw how many headers he lost. It was a similar to the West Ham goal he scored. And it was similar headers in other games that he just lost. He's not a great header. And then we get Eddie Nketiah going, starting versus Fulham. And that was a disaster, So Eddie Nketiah, it's not going to carry Arsenal. I'm sorry. He's not. He's not going to win you a Premier League. So Bukayo Saka, going backwards. Martinelli, again, going backwards. Performance-wise, all three up front, including Gabby Jesus, that's going backwards also, and all the injury he has, they're just responsible for about 15% of the goals. It's nothing. I'm not sure what's going to happen, and I don't foresee a whole lot of big changes unless Arsenal finally get a new manager. I'm being honest with you. Xabi Alonso right now, I don't know how much he cost. Go get him. Because people want to play for Xabi Alonso. Zinedine Zidane, I don't know how much he costs. He's free. Go get him. That's an Arsenal made for Arsenal manager. Doesn't matter how much he makes. But this is, 3 Champions League in a row of 4 years. No one's going to do that. Zizou knows how to attract players. Zinedine Zidane, players wants to play for. So go get a manager that players want to play for, right? But Mikel Arteta, no. He is not. I don't see him winning anything for Arsenal. I don't see him taking us to the next level. And I think he's been there 4 years. That's college degree already. You can leave us and go somewhere else and God bless. But more than that, I don't know what he's going to do. And this is not an educational system. This is Arsenal Football Club. We want to win. We want to, compete. We want to be that club. Not just doing good and statistically doing better. We need trophies. And we need to be not celebrating a top 4. Not celebrating staying in the FA Cup. Not going out on the Carabao Cup that early. Arsenal need to stay. I don't know what is going to happen with the Champions League next. But, it's not that tough for us next. But hopefully we prevail and go to the next round. But that's, Champions League and FA Cup, we have more chances of winning them than the Premier League now. Liverpool, 32% and 60%, win rate for Manchester City. Can this change? Yes, but if Arsenal change. Can Arsenal change? I don't know. I don't think so, but hopefully we do. We support the Arsenal Football Club no matter what. We love you, your Gunners, but I also feel bad for all these players that are not getting the right guidance because the coach is everything. The coach is very, very important. You cannot complete the puzzle of a good football club. You can't win trophies without a great coach. So, hopefully Arsenal Football Club, we have a change on the horizon or something that's talked about, that we can hear here in the news soon. Again, don't forget, subscribe, like, and share. Next game for us, of course, FA Cup, Liverpool. I want to see us prevail. I really, really do. I want to see us stay in the cup. So hopefully that's what's going to happen. Hopefully that's the scenario. Hopefully Arteta on the day starts the right team. Liverpool is not an easy team. And if we do not choose the right team, if we are not motivated enough, if we're not tactically savvy, and if we're not planning to this game the right way, and if all these things are not working together, and if any of those things are missing, we're not going to beat Liverpool. So hopefully Arsenal operates on all cylinders this coming Sunday. It's an early Sunday game here, 8:30 Pacific AM, our time. Come on, you Gunners, bring us that win. Thank you very, very much for watching. Happy New Year to all of you, and we'll see you next episode. Take care.